Welcome guys. In this video I'll be showing you how to do a one-way connection and a two-way connection, which simply means connecting a switch to a bulb and also connect that same bulb to two switches. Now before we go into the practical aspect of this, I'm going to explain with a diagram how these connections are made, so that when we are doing this practical we'll all understand it when we do these connections together. Now to begin, I am going to use this diagram here I have to explain how to connect a bulb to a switch. Now you can see my diagram that I have a junction box, a bulb, and then a switch. Now I'm going to be using two core cables for this connection. And these two core cables means that I have my positive and my negative inside that cable. Now you can see in this my diagram I have my neutral, my live, then the termination of my cables and my switch are all meeting inside the junction box. Now how do I do this connection? Now if you see my line that I drew here from the neutral goes directly to the bulb, which simply means that your neutral, which is coming from any source, goes directly to your bulb. Then your live wire goes to your switch. We have your common, your L1 and your L2. Because we are connecting this switch to a bulb, to just a single bulb, we're not going to be using the L2 terminal. We're going to be using only the L1 and the common terminal for our connections. Now you can see that the live from our junction box is connected to the L1 here in this switch. Now the common goes to the junction box, and then the positive of the bulb meets the common in the junction box. That is where we do our termination. Now if we do this termination like this, I am 100% sure that our bulb will on. So this is how we connect a switch to a bulb. Now let me talk about connecting this same bulb, but this time around to two switches. Now we have a different diagram that explains that. Now let me explain this diagram too. Now in this diagram we still have the same thing, a junction box, a bulb, but this time around we are having two switches. And now in this my diagram I label these two switches as switch 1 and switch 2. Now how do we connect this? It is just a slight difference from connecting a bulb to a switch. Now this one is our live will not go to the L1 of our switch. Rather, it will go to the common section of our switch, which you can see actually in this diagram here. So that live, instead of going to the L1 in your switch 1, it goes to the common section in your switch 1. Then our L1 and L2 is being terminated and connected to the second switch, just as you are seeing in this diagram here. Now, the similarity between these two switches is that the common side goes to the L1, which is the main source of our supply, while the other switch common outlet goes straight to the bulb. And just as you see here in this diagram, you can see that we connected our L here to the common of our switch here. Then we connect this other switch to common to our bulb. Always note, the neutral goes directly to the bulb. So this is just a simple explanation on how we do a one-way connection and a two-way connection using a bulb to a switch and a bulb to two switches. Wow, this should be very interesting when we practicalize it. So in the very next video you're about to watch, I'm going to show you the practical on how you can actually do this connection yourself. So sit back as I'll be seeing you in that very next video.